It's September 18th, 2018. Today we're talking about operating systems. You still there? If you didn't just hear the word operating systems and click that X button, well then you, sir, are a legend. Currently there are three main operating systems in use today: Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. And considering the smartphone market now, we could probably say Android as well. But when it comes to personal computers, Windows has a majority of the share when it comes to operating systems in use today. But Apple's up there as well, and if you start throwing in iOS, watchOS, tvOS, audioOS, the scale starts to tip in Apple's favor. But look at these names: watchOS, tvOS. I mean, who's in charge of the namings of operating system? It's like they're like, "Hey Jimmy, yeah, we're looking for a name for this new operating system. What's it doing? It's gonna go into our new smart shoes. ShoeOS. Done." Names aside, it all had to start somewhere, and that it did. On September 18th, 1989, Next released NextStep, the precursor to all your favorite Apple OSs. NextStep is a discontinued, object-oriented, multitasking operating system based on Unix. It was developed by Next Computer in the early 80s and 90s, and it was initially used for a range of workstation computers like the Next Cube. Wait, Next Computers? What the deuce? Next was an American computer and software company that was founded in 1985 by Steve Jobs. Yes, that's Steve Jobs. After being fired by Apple, or leaving, or resigning, I guess it really depends on who you ask, Steve Jobs founded Next, which was based in Redwood, California. The company developed and manufactured workstation PCs intended for higher education and the business market. The first Next computer came to market in 1988 and the smaller Next Station in 1990. And they were like, meh, and experienced limited sales. With all those nothing special computers came NextStep, which at the time was also relatively unsuccessful. But it did attract the interest of computer scientists and researchers. NextStep was notable for having preeminent implementations of Object-C language and runtime, object-oriented application layers, and development tools. NextStep also introduced the idea of a dock or taskbar, and also the shelf, which was a repository used to store links to commonly used files, directories, and programs. NextStep also originated or innovated a large number of the original GUI concepts, which would later become common in other operating systems. In 1997, Apple purchased Next for $429 million and 1.5 million shares of Apple stock. As part of this agreement, Steve Jobs, chairman and CEO of Next, would return to Apple, the company he co-founded, in 1976. The founder promised that they would merge the software of Next with Apple's hardware platforms, eventually resulting in the Mac OS, the iOS, the watchOS, the tvOS, the ShoeOS, the PizzaOS, and all the other OSs you could ever dream or want. Also, Apple got Steve Jobs back, and I'm pretty sure you know how that worked out. Hey, again, thank you for watching. This has been Today in Tech History. If you enjoyed this episode or series, hit that like button, get subscribed, and watch some of our other videos. Go back in time, check out some other weeks. But make sure you get subscribed because you don't want to miss any future videos. We'll see you in the next one.